Game developers have been supplying content creators with betas for the game to create hype and exposure before the game's release. This is something that at times can be done without even paying the content creators, because the footage alone gives them exclusive footage for the viewers. So it's really a win-win for both, because the game developers get exposure and the content creators get free content. That is something that is quite unique to gaming. You usually don't see big influencers post about new makeup or fragrances without being paid for it. So it's more of an ecosystem than anything really. One example of how content creation can be beneficial for game developers, and possibly the biggest example of the past few years, is Among Us. Among Us was released way before it became popular, but all of a sudden streamers like XQC started playing it, and then it just grew in popularity and took over the world. Something that has existed for a while is the ability to create content within games. This is possible by advanced in-game recording to replay your games and give you the time to create great content. Some examples could be League of Legends, or Counter-Strike, Dota 2, or Call of Duty. Content creation in video games has become a vital part of the industry because it helps organically grow and market a game. This content can come in many forms, like streaming, artwork, machinimas, and more. Content creators have become a major force in the gaming industry, and game developers have realized the benefits of having these content creators create content around their games. That's why many games now have in-game tools that makes it easier to create content. These tools can be simple video recording software, but it also ranges to more advanced tools that allow creators to create more complex content. All in all, this helps the content creators to create this content more quickly and more efficiently than they would otherwise. And that in turn means that the developers can get their game showed off in the most visually appealing way. So this ecosystem around content creation is very strong, and it allows for every party to gain advantage and grow in their own terms. It is definitely the cheapest way for game developers to get their games in front of a large audience. Smaller developers don't have to spend millions on marketing and advertisement, where they can simply give access or pay a smaller amount to a streamer or a YouTuber to go over the game. Overall, content creation has become an integral part of the industry, and it has also changed how people interact with games. In terms of in-game content, the most popular type of content were for the longest time Machinimas. Machinimas are not to be confused with the channel network Machinima that used to exist, but Machinimas basically are a digital form of filmmaking. You make films using video game engines and computer-generated graphics. This type of filmmaking is a very effective way to create original content, and it has allowed content creators to express themselves in ways that were not possible before. It is very cheap because usually you just need the game to actually create content. So you need access to a PC that can run a game, and you need access to a game and video editing software. You don't need an entire team or an entire cast of actors. You can just simply do it, a few friends, go and hop into a game and create some content. One example of that is Sanity Not Included, which was a sketch show that ran on Machinima, which was created by Dexter Manning and Lyle Rath. In here they did a little bit of animation to keep a consistent storyline going, but most of the videos were just sketches from different video games. The production cost of that is very cheap, but the content was extremely popular. It was essentially a game version of Robot Chicken.
Alright, let's do it, guys. We got this one. Oh wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Fuck's sake, they've got one more skin than us. We lose. WP, QQ, GG.
Now the beauty of using games to make content is also that the game doesn't actually have to be in focus. Channels like Funhaus and content creators like Fitz are known for having games sort of run in the background while they make comedic content on top of it, so it's more of like background footage, and sometimes it even triggers comedic moments. It also allows the creators to create their own stories using the in-game characters and the in-game events. This creates a greater level of engagement between the audience and the creator, so while the games are used more as a platform to perform, it is still great exposure. I think the best example I have of this is Funhaus, who back in the day played a game called Chaser, made it very popular. In the game, they created their own storyline for the character and got a good series out of it. And if you look at a bunch of the Steam reviews, you can see that a lot of people actually bought it because of this. So here's an example of what they did.
Damn. John Chaser. Oh, you're
John Chaser.
There we go,
I
John
knew
Chaser,
his name
yeah.
had to be Chaser.
God.
The game.
Wait, is his name really John Chaser?
Yeah.
I made that up.
I know.
It had to be.
Mental implant.
He's ready. He's relatively calm.
Oh. Oh. I'm dreaming of myself.
He's finally discovering how ugly he is.
These are the floor plans for the apartments we're looking at for our team.
What do you think?
Now, there are plenty of games who allows for you to create content within them. but I've chosen to highlight 3, just briefly. So the first one is Garrys Mod, and Garrys Mod is the epitome of sandbox games. It has endless possibilities. Garrys Mod is built on the Source engine, and if you have any Source games, you can implement models and maps from those and play around in it. It has a built-in camera system that allows you to set up cameras and control them remotely, which makes it way easier to create content and videos. I used to play Garrys Mod a lot because it had a game mode called Trouble in Terrorist Town, but the base game of Garrys Mod is essentially just being a sandbox game. You also have full control of the ragdoll with the fist gun, which is essentially just a modified gravity gun from Half-Life. This allows for a great variety of content to be made within the game. And with all the different mods, you can also just create content through mods like Trouble in Terrorist Town or Dark RP, which is more player driven. The second game I want to focus on is Call of Duty Black Ops. It was the first Call of Duty to implement a replay system through its theater mode. The theater mode allowed you to save replays of matches that you played and play it through with a variety of options. This allowed you to set up a bunch of different cool angles and get some really awesome shots of the game. As I mentioned in the previous video, Call of Duty has been a huge player in the gaming content on YouTube for over a decade. And back when Black Ops was released, frag movies were at the height, because the game released right off of the back of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So Black Ops Theater Mode allowed for creators to get some great cinematography and a large variety of shots way easier than they could in the previous installments. And this allowed for some really awesome frag movies. Nowadays frag movies have kind of died down, I think mainly because the content and the amount of effort that goes into it is not worth it in terms of what you get out of it, even though I think it's one of the most creative content you can find on the internet. Also a huge issue is that back then copyright wasn't really a big deal, whereas now it is impossible to upload anything with a copyrighted song, and YouTubers' videos are getting taken down left and right because of copyright. Now last one I want to touch upon is Trackmania. I actually found this out when I created my last video, but Trackmania has a fantastic replay system with a fully functional video editor, so you can direct shots in pretty much any way imaginable, and it even allows you to render your videos in-game, which is pretty cool. It allows for you to do a bunch of different cool angles, and it's very easy to just save your replays. They even have automated directed shots, so you can simply use this footage if you want. You don't even have to spend any time on it. The video creator is not only great for content creators in this game, it can also be used for content marketing on their own platforms. So because it's an ongoing game and it's constantly being updated and constantly getting new content in the game, it makes it really easy for them to create new content, create new highlights, create new show-offs of all their new features and all their new maps in the game. So it's a brilliant solution for an ongoing game to actually have a built-in video editor. It saves a ton of work and it makes it very easy for them to continuously pump out content. That's pretty much all I had for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, liking or commenting. Leave any feedback you want. It could be on the video or just on my channel in general. And if you have any ideas, feel free to message me. I don't really have anything more to say. Bye bye.